Welcome to Royal Secrets. She stepped out, and the world stopped. In a single frame, Queen Mary of Denmark transformed a routine royal appearance into a historic style moment. The silk shimmered, the jewels glowed, the world gasped, and suddenly, elegance had a new name, Mary. From glittering galas in Copenhagen to heartfelt visits across Denmark's countryside, Queen Mary has owned 2025 with a wardrobe so refined, so powerful, and so emotionally evocative that fashion editors, royal watchers, and even political analysts have taken notice. But how did a queen from Tasmania become the reigning style icon of the modern monarchy? Welcome to our deep dive into Queen Mary's most iconic fashion moments of 2025, a journey not just through clothing, but through power, purpose, and personal expression. From emerald gowns that whisper diplomacy to recycled coats that shout sustainability, Queen Mary's wardrobe is more than just beautiful. It's a royal declaration of identity. And now, let's begin this style odyssey, with the look that started the conversation in January 2025. The year began not with fireworks, but with a coat. On January 3, 2025, Queen Mary stunned the press corps with a structured navy blue wool coat by Danish designer OMG, complete with a sharp collar and cinched belt. The occasion, a quiet yet powerful visit to a children's health foundation, her first solo engagement of the year. But the real message wasn't just in the tailoring. It was in what the coat represented: authority without intimidation. It framed her as Denmark's new queen consort not just in name, but in vision. And as she greeted children with warm smiles and even warmer gloves, the Danish media dubbed it the royal reset. By February, the glamour turned all the way up. Queen Mary arrived at the Royal Danish Opera House Gala in a floor-length emerald green gown by Jesper Hovering, Denmark's favorite couturier. The gown, customized for the Queen, featured velvet draping, intricate beading, and a daringly low back, balanced by a regal posture that only Mary could command. But it wasn't just the dress that left fashion critics in awe. It was the styling. The Danish emerald parure tiara, worn slightly lower than tradition dictated, combined with emerald drop earrings that hadn't been seen since Queen Ingrid's 1974 state visit to Sweden. This was fashion as storytelling. Queen Mary wasn't just dazzling Denmark, she was communicating continuity, tradition, and feminine power through textile and timepiece. As the snow melted into spring, so did Mary's wardrobe evolve into something with purpose beyond glamour. In March, during a visit to Aarhus for a climate conference, Queen Mary shocked everyone by re-wearing a classic white coat dress by Prada from 2012, first seen during a visit to the Netherlands more than a decade earlier. But this time, it had been upcycled. The hemline was slightly shortened, the sleeves restructured, and the silhouette more fitted. The Queen had worked with a young Danish eco-stylist to make the changes, sending a bold message that recycling wasn't just acceptable in high fashion, it was royal policy. April brought diplomacy and drama. Queen Mary traveled with King Frederick to Sweden for an official state dinner with King Carl Gustaf and Crown Princess Victoria. And while political analysts focused on trade negotiations, the world couldn't stop looking at Mary's icy blue Elisabeth gown, chosen to subtly mirror the colors of both Danish and Swedish flags. Her accessories were carefully symbolic: the Swedish Order of the Seraphim sash, a nod to royal alliance, and the aquamarine brooch from Queen Margrethe's private collection, rarely seen since the 1980s. The effect was a visual masterclass in diplomacy. Queen Mary didn't just represent Denmark. She dressed to unify Scandinavia. May 2025 saw the nation pause as Queen Margrethe recovered from a brief hospitalization. But Queen Mary stepped forward, not with a statement, but with style that said everything. During a church service held to honor Queen Margrethe's health and service, Mary arrived in a vintage black and white dress by Danish designer Margot Brandt, worn with a pearl brooch that once belonged to Queen Margrethe's mother. Observers quickly noticed the brooch placement on the left side, often symbolizing mourning or tribute in European royal traditions. The fashion moment went viral. "The Queen who speaks in silks," one headline declared. In that moment, Mary's fashion transcended fabric. It became a channel for emotion, respect, and solidarity. Summer arrived with full splendor, and Queen Mary did not disappoint. At the National Horticultural Festival in Odense, Mary turned heads in a custom pastel floral tea dress by Danish-Australian label Camilla and Mark, combining her Australian roots and Danish pride in one soft, romantic ensemble. Paired with simple nude heels and a woven clutch made by a women's cooperative in Greenland, the look was a subtle nod to inclusivity and craftsmanship. Children handed her peonies. Queen Mary smiled, crouched down, and matched their flower crowns in spirit. It was Danish fairy tale meets global consciousness, and fashion critics praised it as Mary at her most poetic. Come July, Queen Mary gave us what we didn't know we needed, the return of the power suit. At a business summit focused on innovation and women's leadership, Queen Mary walked in wearing a tailored coral orange double-breasted pantsuit by The Fold London, matched with white pumps and minimalistic Scandinavian jewelry. The bold color choice defied expectations. The pantsuit defied norms. This was not just a fashion moment, it was a redefinition of what a queen wears when she means business. On social media, women around the world shared side-by-side photos of themselves in suits on social media. As summer gave way to autumn, Queen Mary dazzled once again, this time at the annual Royal Charity Gala in Copenhagen. Dressed in a midnight navy ball gown dripping with Swarovski crystals, designed exclusively by Cecilie Bonson, Mary quite literally sparkled. The fitted bodice, dramatic train, and delicate embroidery caught every light in the hall. But what made the look unforgettable was her hair, swept back into a regal bun, topped with the midnight sapphire tiara, newly restored from Queen Alexandrine's private vault. Every angle, every step, every detail screamed, Queen, icon, legend. During an autumn visit to Scotland for a joint cultural event celebrating Danish-Scottish ties, Queen Mary embraced the heritage theme with style and substance. She wore a custom-plaid midi dress in hues of forest green and cranberry, designed by a local Edinburgh tailor using sustainable Harris tweed. Paired with vintage boots and a Celtic knot brooch, Mary effortlessly blended Scottish traditions with Danish royal elegance. The highlight, a touching moment where she met schoolchildren performing a traditional Highland dance. One child asked, "Are you a princess?" To which Mary smiled and replied, "I'm a queen, but more importantly, I'm a mum." There are gowns, and then there are gowns that echo through history. In October 2025, Queen Mary co-hosted a glittering UN-themed royal dinner at Kronborg Castle, Shakespeare's legendary Elsinore. The occasion wasn't just diplomatic, it was cinematic. Global leaders, activists, and European royalty gathered to celebrate sustainability and cultural unity, and Mary stole the spotlight the moment she walked through those castle doors. Draped in a flowing ivory white silk gown by Danish haute couture house Stein Goya, Queen Mary glowed under the chandeliers like a vision from a Renaissance painting. The design featured a high neckline, subtle shoulder detailing, and a sweeping train embroidered with tiny olive branches, a symbol of peace and diplomacy. But the true masterpiece was the brooch, a family heirloom gifted to her by Queen Margrethe, depicting the Danish coat of arms carved in pearl and garnet. The press dubbed it the Elsinore Empress look, and fashion critics called it one of the most timeless ensembles of Mary's entire royal career. Mary's fashion took a bold, dramatic turn in November, during a 3-day state visit to Romania. With Bucharest's autumn backdrop as her runway, she delivered a look that made headlines across Europe, a deep burgundy velvet dress with sheer bishop sleeves, designed by Romanian-born Danish couturier Irina Ivanka. Worn during a twilight candlelit concert inside the 17th-century Stavropolios monastery, the gown struck a Gothic, regal chord. Mary paired the dress with jet black gloves and antique gold earrings from her own Tasmanian collection, fusing her Danish role and Australian roots in one look. And as she stood before the orchestra, a golden shawl draped across her shoulders, she looked like a character from a royal epic, bridging past and present, faith and fashion. If October was angelic and November was dramatic, the UNICEF Gala in late November was pure modern glam. Held in Copenhagen to raise funds for children in conflict zones, Queen Mary was the picture of contemporary elegance in a metallic silver blue column dress by Iris van Herpen, a designer known for futuristic couture. The dress moved like liquid metal under the spotlights, clinging and flowing at once, a fabric symphony of power, poise, and fluidity. But it wasn't just a showstopper, it carried purpose. The dress was made from recycled fibers woven using zero-waste technology, highlighting UNICEF's work in sustainability and innovation. On stage, as Mary delivered a powerful speech on child rights, she wore no tiara, just strength, style, and sincerity. The holiday season brought with it a new side of Queen Mary, cozy, classic, and delightfully festive. At a royal children's choir performance in Aarhus Cathedral, Mary wore a deep forest green wool coat by Danish label Bom Unforgettable, accented with a crimson tartan scarf and matching gloves. Her boots, a custom vegan leather pair by British designer Stella McCartney, quietly made headlines for being eco-conscious and cruelty-free. As she stood among candlelight and carols, holding a small red poinsettia, viewers around the world praised her understated elegance. It was not a high-fashion moment, but a deeply human one, reminding everyone that Queen Mary is a mother, a monarch, and a symbol of tradition all in one. And then came the New Year's Eve gala at Amalienborg Palace. Every camera in Denmark was trained on the palace as Queen Mary made her final appearance of the year. The outfit, a celestial-inspired gown in midnight blue, woven with threads of gold and platinum, designed by the experimental Danish duo Mads Nørgaard and Anne-Sophie Madsen. The gown looked as though it was floating, shimmering, and shifting color with every breath she took. The neckline was adorned with tiny handcrafted stars, while the sleeves gave the illusion of wings. At midnight, under fireworks bursting above the palace, she looked like she belonged to the sky. Her crown for the night, the Midnight Star tiara, a piece custom made in honor of her role as queen consort, a symbol of transition, modernity, and eternal shine. Fashion houses across Europe declared it the look of the decade. Royal watchers posted side-by-sides comparing the ensemble to Princess Diana's revenge dress and Queen Elizabeth's coronation gown. And yet, Mary's gown had its own unique signature: bold, quiet, powerful, and unforgettable. Now that we've journeyed through each month of royal elegance, let's ask, what truly defined Queen Mary's fashion in 2025? It wasn't just color or design, it was philosophy. Each outfit was curated to speak to something greater: diplomacy, heritage, sustainability, emotion, or empowerment. Her wardrobe became a living archive of Denmark's modern monarchy, written in satin, recycled lace, and historical embroidery. Here are the signature themes we saw across 2025. Monochrome majesty. Mary embraced bold solid colors with tailored silhouettes, sending a message of clarity and confidence. Heirloom heritage. She brought family jewels and vintage pieces back into the public eye, adding depth and generational storytelling to each look. Modern minimalism. Her daytime engagements featured clean lines, Scandinavian cuts, and subtle detail, a nod to Denmark's design legacy. Cultural couture. From Romania to Scotland, she embraced the textiles and traditions of host nations, honoring diversity through fashion. Sustainable sovereignty. With upcycled dresses, vegan materials, and circular design, Mary quietly revolutionized royal fashion with environmental consciousness. Many have asked, how does Queen Mary compare to other global royal fashion icons? Let's take a moment to draw some fascinating parallels. Queen Letizia of Spain favors sleek minimalism, but Mary's style has more emotional narrative. Catherine, Princess of Wales, is known for conservative elegance, but Mary is more experimental and eco-forward. Meghan Markle leans West Coast modern, but Mary's style stays rooted in heritage and symbolism. And perhaps most compelling, Mary channels the grace of Princess Diana, the poise of Queen Rania, and the innovation of Queen Maxima, all while creating her own visual legacy. No other queen today so masterfully blends fashion, purpose, and legacy as Queen Mary of Denmark. Fashion publications like Vogue Scandinavia, Tatler, and Harper's Bazaar declared 2025 the year of Mary. Influencers began creating content inspired by her outfits. Even fast fashion brands scrambled to replicate the silhouettes, prompting discussions about the ethics of copying royal couture. Meanwhile, memes erupted across social media with captions like, "Queen Mary didn't come to play. She came to slay, sustainably." Queen Mary understood the assignment. Every single month. A Danish teenager on TikTok summed it up best. "She's not just our queen, she's our collective Pinterest board come to life." As we look ahead to 2026, one thing is clear: Queen Mary has set a new gold standard for what royal fashion can be. Not just beautiful, but intentional, historical, personal, and forward-looking. Every fabric she chooses tells a story. Every accessory whispers a tribute. Every silhouette commands respect. She isn't just wearing clothes. She's wearing her country, her journey, her beliefs, and her era. And now, the question is no longer, what will she wear next? But rather, How will she inspire the next generation of queens, women, and citizens to lead with elegance and purpose? So there you have it, Queen Mary's breathtaking fashion reign of 2025. From icy blues and velvet drama to recycled silk and star-stitched gowns, every look was a royal lesson in style with substance. But before you go, we want to hear from you. Which of Queen Mary's 2025 outfits was your favorite? Was it the emerald gala gown, the levitating New Year's look, or the powerful coral pantsuit that broke the internet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more exclusive royal deep dives, only here on your channel. Royal Secrets. And now, we leave you with this question. In a world of trends and fast fashion, could Queen Mary's elegant, purposeful style be the future of royalty, and maybe even the future of fashion itself? Have a beautiful day.